Alright, so this is the session we are going to start with the collaboration diagram in UML. Okay, so in collaboration diagram, when we talk about collaboration diagram, this is a part of interaction diagram. And interaction diagram is falling in the category of behavioral diagram, which I am going to show you in the next lecture slides. Now, first of all, before starting up with the diagram, I want to tell you what does the collaboration means. When we say collaboration diagram, so we need to understand the concept of collaboration. See, basically, in a simple language, when I just define the collaboration, it is when all the participants and their relationships are being defined and they are coming together with their functionalities. That particular is termed to be as the collaboration. When I say that we are going to collaborate, so collaborate defines what? That all the participants are coming together, they are knowing what their responsibilities are, what their relationship is in the application, and that particular defines the collaboration. Okay, so when we define it, it is termed to be as a collaboration defines a set of participants and relationships that are meaningful for a given set of purpose. For a given set of purpose, right? Now, okay, so that defines the collaboration. A collaboration between objects working together provides emergent desirable functionalities in object-oriented system. That means the earlier definition which I have already defined is related to a generalized collaboration. But when we talk about the concept of collaboration in the object-oriented system, that means all the objects, all the classes are going to be defined and they are coming together and emerging their functionalities among themselves. That means if there are two objects, there should be an interaction, there should be a communication between these two objects, and their functionalities will be defined with the help of this interaction. That means passing over the messages and defining the relationship between the two objects. Now, objects are able to produce high level functionalities by working together. See, when we take the consideration of only one object, all the activities are not very clear, all the functionalities are not very clear until and unless I'm talking about the second object that is going to interact with it. When I say that there is an ATM machine and the ATM machine is, I can just define the functionalities of ATM machine, but it will give me a clear cut understanding of all the functionalities when there is a user or the customer as an entity, as an object, and he is going to interact with the ATM. Then and there, I am going to define and produce all the functionalities, and that will give a clear idea of those functionalities among these particular objects. So objects collaborate by communicating. That is what interaction is. In the last lecture that was of sequence diagram, I elaborated on communication, on interaction. This is the same thing. Collaborate by communication, that is by passing messages to each other with one another in order to work together. When two people talk to each other, they communicate to each other. How do they communicate? They pass messages among themselves, either through vocal speech or through written one. Okay, so this is what the collaboration means. Now you must have got one idea of collaboration diagram. That is what we are going to do in collaboration diagram. We are going to group, we are going to collect all the objects and they are going to interact with each other in the manner by passing of messages among each other, and all these particular objects will have a defined role in a particular use case. So collaboration diagram known as communication diagram in UML 2.6. See, this is the next version of UML when I have written 2.x. Earlier it was known as collaboration diagram, but in the newer session when the UML generated the next version 2.x, so there it was called as communication diagram. So basically this communication diagram and the collaboration diagram are same. These are used to show how objects interact with each other, how the objects interact with each other to perform the behavior of a particular use case or a part of use case, right? Along with sequence diagram, collaboration are used by designers to define and clarify the roles of the objects that perform a particular flow of events of a use case. That means it is going to clarify all the roles of all the objects, and they are going to perform in a particular, in a specific flow, in a specific order of sequence of events. They are the primary source of information used to determining class responsibilities and interfaces, right? So this is what a collaboration diagram is. Now we are going to see how we can design the collaboration diagram. This is what the diagram graph is. Here we are talking about the collaboration diagram as communication diagram. This is the communication or the collaboration diagram. You can name it anyways, okay? And this is coming under the category of interaction diagram. Yesterday we did the sequence diagram. This is also the part of interaction diagram, and this interaction diagram is a part of behavior diagram, which are dynamic in nature, okay? So moving further, we have understood that this is an interaction diagram and it is coming under the category of behavior diagram, which is dynamic in nature. Now we are going to see certain notations of collaboration diagram. What are these? First one is object. How we are going to define object? We already know what is an object. We have understood it earlier also. An object is represented by an object symbol showing the name of the object and its class underlined, separated by a colon. So this is how we are, here we are focusing how we are going to design the diagram and how the notations are being used. When I'm going to define the object, I'm going to write the name of the object here and I will use a colon. Then I'm going to write the class name and I'm going to underline it. Let's take an example. If I say Rohit is an object, Rohit is an object. So Rohit is an object name, colon, I have to give the class name. So let's say it is student. The class name is student. So I'm going to write out here as this class name as the student. I'll write it completely student and then I'm going to underline it. Okay. So this is how I'm going to use the objects in the graphical form. Now, second thing we need to understand how we can use the objects. See, first of all, it is not necessary that we are going to define all the classes in the diagram. We can use specific objects with their name and its class specified. This is what first point says. Each object in the collaboration is named and has its class specified. That I have already told you in the earlier slide, how we are going to define it. Next one is not all classes need to appear. So it's not necessary if in an application which we are going to design, if it has 8 classes, not necessary that all 8 classes are coming in the collaboration diagram. Let's say if we are working on a use case of a specific use case in which only 3 classes are interacting with each other, objects. So we are going to use only those 3 objects and classes. There may be more than one object of a class, not necessary that only one object will appear of a specific class. An object class can be unspecified. Normally, you create a collaboration diagram with objects first and specify the classes later. What we can use, see this is what this is, we can use anonymous also. That means I'm not going to specify the name of the object, but I'm going to specify the name of the class. So that is object classes unspecified. So that is defining the anonymous one. Now moving further, the second notation we are going to use in object diagram, in collaboration diagram is what? It is the actors. What is this actors? Normally an actor instance occurs in the collaboration diagram as the invoker of the interaction. That means he is the one which is going to start the interaction, which is going to start the or invoke the message first. So each actor is named and has a role. We are going to define the name and the role of an actor. As if in earlier session when we did the sequence diagram, we had the actor as it is shown in this way graphically, and how we are going to name it, and we named it customer yesterday in the ATM machine, automated teller machine example. The customer was the actor because he is the one who is going to initiate the interaction, as in by inserting the card. Okay, one actor will be the initiator of the use case. Now, third thing is the diagram notation, collaboration diagram notation is links. What are links? Links are the connection between the objects and the actors. That means how these particular are interacting with each other. We are going to show it with the help of a link. This particular solid line is going to show you the link. Now, these particular links are the instances of association. We have already seen what association means, and these links are going to define the instance of the association. Messages flows are attached to links. See messages. We are going to see messages now. Next one is messages. What is this message? Message is a communication point between the two objects, and it is going to define what we are going to say to the receiver, what message is going to be sent to the receiver. So there is, let's say, one object as the sender and one object as the receiver. The one who is sending the message will give in this way, and the receiver will be here where the arrow is being shown. Okay, so that defines that this is the sender and this is the receiver one. The receiver must understand the message. Now, we'll see the example of collaboration diagram. What is the collaboration diagram? Let's say this is an example of phone, phone exchange. How we are going to use it is going to be used as, let's say we are going to hook up on the phone, right? So first point is off hook. We are going to listen to the dial tone. This particular call is going to listen to the dial tone, and exchange, here we are going to dial the number. So third message is dial the number, and that will be given to the call. Now after that, fourth one is what? Fourth one is there will be a ringtone which will be sent when we dial a number. That will be through the exchange to the receiver connecting point. After that, the call will be connected, and we have defined it as on hook. That means the call is connected. So we are going to talk to the receiver. And then what you are going to do after you have finished the talking part, you are done with the communication part, you are going to off hook the receiver. So talk will be disconnected through the exchange. And all these are interacting with each other. So this is how the message is. So the first message is what? Off hook. Off hook means when we just pick up the receiver, we listen to our default tone, that is the off hook, that will lead to the exchange. And then I am going to, again, caller is going to dial the tone. They're going to listen to the dial tone. So that is the dial tone. Third, the dial number is shown. That means we are going to dial the number. Next, ringtone will be there. That is fourth. Fifth, on hook, and sixth, off hook. So this is what we are going to define as a sequence of messages. Now you must be thinking, what is the difference between the collaboration diagram and the sequence diagram? That is an important part. See, if you have seen what is the difference between the collaboration and the sequence is, first thing, as both are interactive, both are the part of interactive diagram, interaction diagrams. So obviously they are communicating with each other. That means there is a group of objects which are communicating with each other. Messages are being passed. But it is the concept, the focus point is different. Here the focus point is organization of the objects. We are organizing the objects in a group form, right? We are not focusing on time in collaboration diagram, but in sequence diagram we were focusing on the time. That is why there was a lifeline. At vertical axis we had what? We had the timeline. We can just see same example I have taken as for the sequence diagram. See, this is how it is different. We have defined the four objects: caller, exchanger, receiver, and talk. Now see, caller is going to off hook. This is the first point. Exchanger, dial tone will be received. Next, the caller is going to dial the number. Exchanger, through exchanger, there will be a ringtone. It is going to connect with the receiver, and the ringtone will be, we can listen to the ringtone. Once it is connected, the receiver can talk on hook. And lastly, when it is disconnected, it is going to define the off hook through the exchange. So this is what here we are defining the sequence of events. Here, what is necessary, what we are focusing on, we are focusing on time, that one after the other. We are saying that what is the actual sequence of interaction and what is the actual sequence of messages. So that is what we are focusing on here. While in collaboration diagram, we are just focusing on the group of objects we are using, that is the organization of this particular form. We are not focusing on the timeline. Okay, so this is it, and we can just see the main differences between these two diagrams. Sequence diagram, it represents the UML. Obviously, it also represents the UML. It is used to visualize the sequence of calls in a system that is used to perform a specific functionality, while it is used to visualize the organization. Here we are focusing on the sequence of call. See, and here we are using or focusing on the visualization of the organization of objects, how the objects are organized together and they are interacting. While here we need to understand the sequence of calls or the sequence of messages. Next point, they used to represent the sequence of messages that are flowing from one object to another. Obviously, that is what we are talking about, sequence of messages we are representing, and here we are representing the organization structure of the system. So they are used to represent the structural organization of the system and the messages that are sent and received. Third point, it is used when time sequence is main focus. I told you right now also. And it is used when object organization is the main focus. So this is the basic and the main difference between the two diagrams. They, at the first instance, they are misunderstood as the same, but they are different at the point that where we are focusing. These particular are better suited for analysis activities. Okay, while these particular are suited when we are depicting simpler interaction of the smaller number of objects. See, collaboration diagrams are not made for the complete application. It is made for a specific use case. And in that way, when we are designing the collaboration diagram of a specific use case, that will be more clear and more helpful for us to get the clear understanding of the use case. So this is the basic difference and the clarification of the difference between sequence diagram and collaboration. And what there's one, what should I call? There's one similarity between these two. And what is the similarity between these two? Similarities that they are the part of interaction diagrams, both of them. I already told you collaboration diagram is also called as communication diagram. So just remember this. So this is how you are going to design the collaboration diagram. That's all for this lecture. Thank you.